As I look at the drawing, I realize that I maybe made the line segments extend a little too far. What I'm going to do is select offset, and I'm only going to select 6 inches. I'm going to select this object and select above and enter. I'm going to select trim, selecting this as my cutting edge, right click, object to trim, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Right click, enter, and I don't need this line anymore, so I'm going to erase it. I know that so far I've been selecting the erase command, and I did indicate to you that you can grip the object and then perform the modifying command. So I've gripped it, and now I select erase, and the line goes away. Offset once again. Specify offset distance. Last time I used 6 inches, so all I have to do now is enter. So I'm going to right click and select enter. It indicates to select object to offset. I'll pick this line going to my right, and I'll pick this line and take it to my right. And then I can right click. That terminates the command. Select trim, cutting edge, right click, select object to trim, 1, 2, 3, 4, and right click to terminate the command. And this is the line I need to erase now, and this one, so I've selected them first, and now I go to erase. And now all I have left to do is clean up the corners. If I minimize the screen, as you can see, there are no lines in between here, no lines there, and no lines here. So let's clean this up. Notice I am selecting from the pull-down menu. The last command I used was zoom extents. That's why it's above. Right now I just clicked and I'm holding the mouse button, and I will release it when I am on the zoom window icon. And I will zoom in to this area, select trim once again, select cutting edges. This time what I can do is, instead of selecting the cutting edges, I am simply going to enter. When I enter, what Autocad does is select all of the objects visible on the screen and selects them as cutting edges. They did not change into dashed lines like they usually do, but it's understood that they are all cutting edges. If I look at my command line, it indicates select object to trim. So because all of the objects are cutting edges, I can just begin and select the lines and then right click and enter. Select zoom previous. That cleans it up. Does it look anything like we wanted it to? No, it does not, because it should be extending this way. And that's fine. Simple enough. I can undo one time, undo again, and try this one more time. And it gives me an opportunity to explain that trim option again. Select trim. When it indicates to select cutting edges and select objects, I simply enter. Select object to trim now, and again, everything on the screen has been selected as a cutting edge, so I would like to trim this line and this line and this line, and right click, enter. Now I'll simply do an implied crossing window here, which puts the grips on the lines, and erase. There we go. Zoom previous. Let's go over here now. Select zoom window, and by the way, there's a keyboard shortcut for that. I can type Z, enter, and W, enter. Not much of a keyboard shortcut because you have to do 2 enters and then select 2 keys, so it makes more sense to use the icons in that case. Select trim, Once again, if I enter without selecting any cutting edges right now, everything on the screen becomes a valid cutting edge. So I'm going to enter, immediately requesting to select objects to trim, and that would be 1, 2, 3 line segments, and then right click and enter. Zoom previous, and yes, of course, I could type in Z, enter, and P for previous, enter. Not as quick as we want it. Selecting zoom window to this area, trim, and this time I will use a crossing window. Right click, select object to trim, and that would be 1, 2 line segments, and then right click, enter, and select zoom extents. One more to go. I will zoom real time because it will be rather difficult to pick there. Zoom window, select the objects that I need to trim first. I will go to trim, cutting edge, 1, 2, right click, and trim 1, 2, and right click again, and zoom extents. Of course, I could have used the fillet command there as well. We're done with the walls. Time to put in our doors and windows.